is everyone doing? It is Desiree. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Get things set up. I hope everyone is doing well, as always. As always. Let's see. Yes. Okay. I think we are set. Let me get that a little sprite. Move this over just a little bit. Just like that. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, we are going to play with our watercolors. Good morning, Gwen. How are you doing? All right, we are going to play with our watercolors, and I already took care of pushing down or taping down some watercolor paper. And I'm going to be using cellulose, so no 100% cottons. So I'm using, so these here, and I won't remember this once I remove it. So I'm actually using these. It's by Fabriano. Found this at Hobby Lobby, and it was only $2 for 4x6, 15 sheets. And I'm really liking it. So I'm going to use that, because we don't always have to use 100% cotton when we do our watercolors. I like the cellulose papers and what it gives. And then I found one of these packs. Now this is hot press, so that's how I'll be able to tell the difference. So this is a hot press, we're going to get a different effect, and this is cold press. So cold press has a texture to it, where hot press is smooth. And even some hot presses out there have a little bit of a texture, and this is by Fluid 100. Yes, and I am not sure. I don't know what that's made of, but we're going to have fun with it. Yes, we are going to have fun with it. Okay, so we are just going to get our watercolors down here. We're going to have fun with them. We're going to do some abstract. I'm going to get the watercolors primed. And of course, I check it afterwards. Always make sure we spray our watercolors with water. Just saying. Learn from me. I actually sprayed my watercolors one time with alcohol. It was a good day. It was a good day. And then we're going to do different types of mark making on top after they're dry. And I'm going to use a combination of, Holly, good morning. I'm going to use a combination of stamping and acrylic markers. Yes. Those are the products we are going to use. Have I tried the cotton over? So yes, I have. That's the Ohuhu. I love saying that name. It comes in, it's a cotton top. This is the hot press. I also do have the cold press. You can get it in a pack of 20 sheets or 30 sheets. And it's very reasonable, and it is wonderful. Now, what I'm actually using this for, and if you go back to June's Tangle, our first Sunday in June. I go into a greater depth because I will be using that to tangle over. My chalks come up better. Sometimes what you can have on a cellulose when it's not 100% cotton is the watercolor will absorb in, but it'll also sit on top. And again, these are my my findings with it. And you can get a sheen that comes over it just a little bit. It doesn't get into the fibers. And the sheen I can show you. So I'm doing a play. I'm getting ready for the July project in the community. And one of them is going to be, we're going to map tangle. So this is done on a 100% cotton paper. All right, and you don't see a shine. You don't feel a shine even in this area here. You can still feel the paper. It doesn't have a sheen that comes over it, even in here. You can still feel the texture. Again, then that's 100% cotton. And then these here were done with this watercolor paper, and I really like it. And this is a cellulose. And what happens is, so not these, because I didn't use a lot of watercolor. I used a lot of water with it when it came to these designs. But like on these, where the watercolor got heavier, more pigmented, it's just got this shiny haze. And I don't know if you can see it on that one. It's like right in here, because it doesn't fully absorb into a cellulose. It will, but you'll have that sheen that comes up to it. So adding a chalk on top of that does not work very well, even in there. So this is something that we're going to be doing in July. That's a fun neon one. And this is what they'll look like. So that is what we will be doing in our membership. And that will be for everybody. Vicky, good morning. Thank you so much for stopping by. Dana, good morning. I hope you are all doing well. So yeah, so we're going to do just abstract. And then we're just going to have fun adding marks. We're going to use a fine liner, acrylic markers, and then for stamping, I'm actually going to be using, I'm pulling out, I have all my stamps set off here to the side, but we're not going to use an acrylic block. We're not going to use stamp positioning. We're just going to have fun putting the stamps on our hands and just stamping away and see what we come up with. What do you think? Sounds fun? All right, and then of course we'll make some cards with them. Yeah, all right, so let's get started. So I've got my watercolors here, and the ones I am using are my Mission Gold, in case anybody wants to know, but you can use any watercolors with this. And I have a 3/4 inch flat, a number 8 cat's tongue, and I have a number 4 round. Just a fine point there. These are the acrylic markers that I will be using. Yep, found these. It's amazing what you find when you clean. Just saying. Just saying. And you can use, for your fine liner, you can use a Sharpie. I'm actually going, let's find it. I'm actually either going to use a 3, this is by Derwent, or an 8. So that's what an 8-point looks like. It's nice and chunky. And then that's what a 3 looks like. So not too chunky. And then, of course, you know, white acrylic paint's going to come into it. You know that, right? I'm just saying. It's going to come in. It's going to come in. Well, friends, good morning. All right, so let's get started. It is very good to shop, you know, your stash. And it's also good when you have it clean. I'm very much into mixed media. I like adding different things. Okay, here we go. So let's just have some fun mixing our colors. Let's do something bright. And I am going to make sure that there is a lot of water. I want to water these down. Watercolors do, remember, they dry back. I'm just going to let the brush take over. I like the scratchiness of it. And I got better with that. And sometimes, you know, this is like a new technique. And then I'm just coming in with some other colors where I know it's still a little wet. And coming in with some water, pushing it out, because you can get these different tones that come across. And we can also come in with a 3/4. Some fun just putting in some lines. And I also enjoyed, and I started doing this last night when I was just having a play, not fully mixing the colors in the well, because then you get these variants of the colors that are just going to come through. Now I'm going to let that dry. We'll do a technique that's called glazing, where we'll go over it with other colors. That's not the color I wanted. That's the one I wanted. And I just keep, you know, going with it. So that's what I'm going to use the flat brush for. Okay, this needs to move up here. Let's add purple. Can you all see these? Yes. And again, I'm just letting the colors in the well come together. And I'm getting better at leaving white spaces. I found that to be a challenge. To do that. And I like having pieces, either landscape or portrait, because again, you don't know what you're going to get. These will bloom and have fun. You could also come in. Where's my splatter? With just water. So I always keep a clean pot of water. And you can just splash water on it and let it react that way too. That'll force blooms to come in. So we always don't have to splatter with white, but we can. Now I'm going to let these dry. And then we're going to come back to these. All right, next group. Just have fun with them. Don't stress it. Just do not stress. So you can get these different colors when you just, and Denise Love is right, hold the brush to the side. It's really cold. It really does look, I'm going to let that one go. I like that one. So that was something that I had fun with last night. Or if you want to hold your brush up, just tap it. I'm just going around. Yeah, cat's tongue does not splatter well. Cordelia's logging on. Okay, I was wondering where she was. And this, I can tell, is already going to be somewhat dark. So, what I'm going to come in with is a damp paper towel, not a baby wipe. And I'm just going to blot it. And it's going to give me some effects outside of this. But I do want to lighten that up. Let's go. That like that. try making marks with your brushes. That's kind of cool. And you can see we're already going to get our blooms. You can see the blooms are already going to set. Let your brush skip. Now this is on the hot, yes, the hot pressed. So again, we're going to have more blooms. Um, just a huge difference when it comes to how the watercolors lay down, how they look, and all of that. And what color do I want to do now? Let's get yellow in there. Push that down. Something more vibrant. Let's add white. I like white. I think white can be fun. Add some drops of white in these. And is that... Nope, I just put my fingerprint in that. Only me. Alright, I'm going to set these aside. Let these dry. Let's pull in our other ones. So it's just these areas here that are still wet. So we can... Let's pull in... I'm going to pull in a thinner flat. Thought I had one. I do. But we can use an angle. So I'm going to pull in a 6 angle. And an angle can also give you a line. Just take it slow. I let my pinky guide, and I'm keeping my finger crossed. I don't go in there. So when you let one layer dry, and then you come back over another layer, that's called glazing. Oh, don't like that color. Oh my. See if we can brighten that up. Can even come with water, just touching the side of what we just put down, seeing what we get. Plus we get to see watercolors run, which is always fun. And what's nice is an angle, you can put your different colors going on there as well. So you can see how it's up at the top and it's lighter at the bottom. So you can have fun with it. Having a little play with these, just to see what they do. All right, we're going to let these dry. They're almost dry. Cordelia, good morning. I do too. Now I just don't know which color I want to put with that. I also like that one. You can tell I love mottled or muted colors. So I'll always have a black or an indigo, or at least I think that's indigo. Yes. It's indigo. Love my indigo. Love the ivory black or Payne's gray. They're great colors. Alright, so I don't know what color I should put there. What were the... I didn't get to see what the parameters were Friday night. The week is still continuing for me. But I may hold off one. Yes. Alright, I don't know what color. I'm going to choose something fun. Well, we'll see what we get here. Let's go. See what happens. Take a deep breath. Yeah, that one's cool. Alright, so actually the gray almost turned like a purple. So I used, what did I use? I added Opera Rose into that. And I let that stuff sit there. I don't, my palettes are just always well loved. Alright, let's see what we got here. I see some damp spot. I'm not going to touch that one. But when I splattered, if I'm seeing any wet spots, I'll pull it up. I really like that one. Alright, let's lift these. And again, we take our time. Again, I do not worry if it pulls up my paper. I really don't. Because 9 out of 10, I am going to trim this down. And if I don't, I can distress the edge. Some papers will lift, some papers will not. Oh, that one tore into it. Oh, I'm not worried about it. You can heat these. I just don't want to. Nine, 8 out of 10. If you take your time, it's fine. These are not going into a gallery. And probably if I used the artist tape, these wouldn't have pulled at all. I do have better luck with artist tape. But I can get painter's tape cheaper. And you can see just how much you use, you know, when you're taping down your pieces. When you add a lot of water, you want to do that. So, but again, you can use any watercolors, like I said. You can use Crayola. I like Crayola watercolors. I think they're fun. Ooh, okay, that's not being saved. And this is that, what is that? This Fluid 100? No. Okay, so I'm glad you all showed up to watch tape being removed. And I do have a plan for the edges of these anyway, so. One. Two. And if you hear that talking in the background, that would be my husband having a good old time with a friend. So, apologize for that. It's live recording, people. My husband's going to go play golf. He loves his golf. And I did continue after, let's see, it's just a little bit there. After our last Sunday live, I did continue with the jelly plate, and I hope you all enjoyed that. Again, really the first time I truly played. Now see, this one's not pulling up. So again, it can also be the paper of what pulls up, what's not going to pull up, because I very rarely have paper pull up when I pull my tape, and I don't heat it. So that was like a journey. You all came with me together. Some people may have thought, okay, this is ridiculous. She doesn't know what she's doing. And I didn't. You know, I was just having fun playing. Just having fun putting it out there. I do know, after watching many, where my errors were, because that's all it was. It was all me. And next time we do jelly plating is to have multiple jelly plates going, because yeah, dry time is key with what I was trying to do. Now, I don't know if I'll have the patience for the dry time. I'll be very honest. But I did watch a video. It was an older video by Kerry the Crafter. I love watching him. He brings just such joy to the crafting community. He really does. How he was using it, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's my jam. I believe that is my jam. Yep, that one tore, because I went off on them, didn't stay on an angle. So we'll be revisiting that. Alright, so you're saying one of these, I could use my heat tool to remove the tape, Gwen. I just don't feel like it. I'm lazy. Yes. Again, I'm not worried about the edges, but yes, if you use a heat tool and heat all this up, they'll come out beautifully. Absolutely. Yeah. But I don't want to. I'm sorry. You know, sometimes we just want to have a play and we're just not going to worry about it. This is it. This is it. And again, it's just on some papers. And again, if you come off on an angle, like I am here, I'm having no problems with this paper. And this is the cold press by Fabriano. It's this one. Master's Touch by Fabriano. I thought for Fabriano for $2, hello! I thought it was a good price. And that was the first time I was in a Hobby Lobby. Yeah, it was dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And I'm also thinking, Jill, good morning. How are you? So yeah, I really like it. I really. Oh, it's not going to say. Put those. Let's get this board out of the way. All right, now mark making. So mark making can be anything that you want it to be. It's just like with everything that we do. I'm just going to move my watercolors. We're not going to use these anymore. I'm going to set these off, and I just let this dry. Always let your palette dry before you close it. So I usually keep it open 24 hours, and then I know I can close her down. Oh, we're not going to put that there. Nope. Okay, we'll put that there. Very klutzy lately. And you can use anything to make your marks. All right, anything. Now so this, or this. I'm gonna set. I'll hold this one, the craft roulette. Okay. You can use anything. So again, I'm using fine liners. You can use Sharpie. You can use a pencil. And again, whenever I say pencil for anything like this, you know, craftiness, I'm always going to refer to the wood pencil, not a mechanical. Because mechanical pencils are great to write with because they always have a sharp point. Whether you use the 5 or the 7 milliliter, or 0.5, or 0.05, wherever they listed there. You can use your acrylic markers. You can use, I think mark making is a great thing for distress crayons because I always struggled with these. Because, I don't know, I couldn't get them to work. I couldn't get them to do whatever. They were just very challenging for me. But these are great to make marks with. Absolutely. So we have a white one here, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Glenn, I'm sure you know this, so let us know in the chat. When these dry, they're permanent. Good morning, Gloria. How are you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. But I believe these dry permanent. So again, if you have something, you don't need to have everything. I know, I say that as I'm showing everything. I know. But you don't need everything. Colored pencils. You can use colored pencils to make your marks on these. But I'm glad I found a use for the distress crayons because I think they work perfectly when it comes to this. You can also use what's out there. Because again, I'm finding, you know, when we clean, we find things, and all of that fun stuff. So when I find something, I want to make sure I use it, and if I love it, great. If not, I donate it to a wonderful cause near me. Absolutely found it recently, and they are just great people. But you can also use these gel sticks. These are by King Art. Very creamy. And I think these dry permanent as well. So you can see if I put this down. It's very creamy. It's like a distress crayon, I think. Here's a distress crayon. I think they're the same thing. So if you have those distress crayons and you're letting them collect dust because you're like, I can't get these to work. Because I couldn't. We were not getting along. Then, to me, this is a great way to use them. So yeah, I think they dry permanently. I know everything he has is water reactive. And these are reacting because it didn't dry yet. And I think the King Art, yeah. Oh, look at that. They're water reactive too. Woohoo! Didn't know that. Woohoo! That's good to know. So anything that you have, and we're even going to use stamps, but we're not going to use an acrylic black. We're just going to let them be on our hands, and I'm going to be pulling in my archival inks for that, maybe. All right, so let's just choose one. I really like that one. I love that one. That one's fun. That one's cool. I like the colors. We can have fun with that one. And when we say mark making, okay, you can do tangles. Tangles are mark making, but mark making can be something as simple as a line. So you can have a line. That's mark making, and you can repeat it. And depending upon the tool that you're using to make your marks, you can make dots. That's mark making. If you have a brush tip, you can make teardrops. That's mark making. You can add dots to your lines to give that a little bit of interest. If you don't just want straight lines, you can make squiggly lines. This is actually a tangle called Eek. E-E-K. But you can have those types of lines. You can do circles. So anything you can think of, we can do triangles. That's mark making. And you're just putting it in different areas of your piece in whatever you choose. You can also do I call it scribble, you know, where it's my handwriting, you know, where you just that's my handwriting. It really is, and I know what it says. I tone it down when I send a card. I have to write really slow, and even then, it's not. But you can just put that. This, to me, usually I put this down first onto the panels. You don't have to wait for that. So let's start with this one, and I'm kind of seeing this one going landscape. That truly is my handwriting. So Holly, you use the King Art thingies? King Art thingy. And what do you mean I always use my white gel pens last as highlights? Good morning, Anthony. I need to talk to you, by the way, Anthony. No, you're not in trouble. In any way, shape, or form. I have a question for you. What did I say where you use your white gel pens last as highlights so I don't know? So what did I say where you're like, nah, I don't know if that's going to work? Anything can work. We can make anything work. So one of the things when it comes to mark making, and let's see, I think I'm going to zoom you guys in. The King Art thingy. You like that, right? They're great. They are very creamy. Very creamy. Do they dry permanently, Holly, after they're done? Because I have like soft pastels and oil pastels, and you can use those as well for mark making. If I'm doing a big piece, I'll pull those in because then you have to spray that to set the soft pastel, to set the oil pastel with a special spray. I just don't want to do that for all of these. Again, I'm lazy. I'm just going to be honest out there. With these, I don't think we did. Yes. Yeah, I know it takes a while. But they do dry, and then I don't have to spray anything. But again, when I use my chalk pastels or my graphite in Zentangle, I've never sprayed one of those pieces. I did finish that other piece that I showed you, and I already gave it to her, so I don't have it here anymore. So sorry, but I can put it on my phone. So that is what that piece looked like after it was done. And then on the back, I put a Winnie the Pooh quote. And her baby's name is going to begin with an L. So this was, I want to say 12 by 18 inches, this piece. And this is actually one of the project packs from Zentangle. And this is actually one of the project packs I plan on going through with our community at some point. I want to map it out. I want to change up some of the tangles and change up some of the things, but not all of it. But she really liked it. She really, really liked it. Which, you know, I'm always nervous about that. Always nervous about that. Okay. So what I do first is I look for these open spaces, and you can, and again, this can turn any way that you want. And I'm going to start with my fine line. Oh, get that in there. And I'm going to need my other glasses. I know. Bifocals, I get it. Yeah, no, can't do that. All right, let's zoom you all in. How about it? So in this section here, I'm just going to do straight lines. This is mark making. Now you can leave that spot alone if you want. If you wanted to use tangles, you can do that. But this is just, I like to do this just to have a play. And I'm going to bring it down into here. I'm going to trace this because I'm seeing something with that. And you can see I'm holding the pen differently. I'm not holding it like normal. I'm holding it very loose to let it do its thing. Because I am so seeing a tube here. And then we can add lines into that. We can see things when we, after our watercolor is dried, and it's what you see, and you just want to go with it. And one of the things that I do enjoy doing is outlining some of these areas. And just following the way that the watercolor went to highlight some of these areas. I'm seeing that again over here. And again, it all depends on what you add. Now, I also like to add the gold that I have in one of the fine liner bottles. And this is just regular the Kuretake gold ink is getting tough to find. So I just got another type of calligraphy gold ink, and it works just fine. And you get a lot more. And I'm going to do that last. Yes! Do your wettest application last. Just thought of that. Alright. So now I think I'm going to pull in an acrylic marker. I do not have any luck with acrylic markers. And here I'm going to put, and what I mean that I don't have luck with acrylic markers is they're never white. And you can see I'm forgetting all of this here. I'm just going with what I see. And I'm just constantly turning the piece. You can use a white gel pen. I like to use this for dots. Remember, with any white gel pen, light pressure. Am I? Please tell me. Okay, I am. I like to make sure I'm in frame. So let's go with the white. We can add oh, I think you were talking about this, Gwen, right? The distress crayon, where you said, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how bright white this is. Oh, yeah, no. Okay. No. Mm-mm. Alright, so we'll just let that go. No, not the white. Alright. Shut up, Gwen. I hear you. I do want to pull out, though. So I like to use these just to make big dots, big spots. And again, when you're mark making, you're not really doing anything where you want it to stand out, so to speak. All right, I think we're done with that. Now I'm going to come in with the gold, and we'll set this aside. And this, I do like to go around the areas as well. Sometimes this pen has a mind of its own. Go over everything you've got. Alright, now this I really need to come in here. Let's see if I can do it. If I see it again. Very carefully. You're all holding your breath with me, right? And we'll call that one done. Is it? Yeah, we're definitely going to let that dry. And again, does the whole thing have to be marked up? Absolutely not. I mean, you can just let this go. Now, this is not one that I'm going to trim down or anything else. This is going to go on a 5x7 card. Or this is going to, you know what? No. We're going to let it go. We're gonna, it's tough to stop. It's really tough. Stop. All right. Okay, so let's set that one aside. Oh, let's set that one up here. Let's do, you know what? I'm going to do this one. I'm going to pull in my 08. I need to hold it this way. Am I in frame? Yes. So if you're someone that's looking to get into card making, I always say that something like this is a great way to get yourself started. You just need paper, a watercolor, and if you already have inks, you can use those if they're water reactive. And you can make beautiful card fronts. Very much so. And then you can just doodle. I mean, why not? Just have fun doodling. Let's see here. You can layer your doodles. If you want. all you're doing is adding texture to it when it comes to all of this. That's all you're doing. But just have fun with it. I'm going to come in with a Sharpie. Oops. That would have been a mess. It's almost done. And you're making mini pieces of art. I know, you're all saying, no, 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 no. Yeah, you are. Yes. Yes, you are. But you also have another tool that is in your stash if you're already a card maker or anything else like that, and that's your stamps. You know, you can come in with your stamps. So here I have hickory smoke, my black, and my potting soil. I think I'm going to use my potting soil. And if we take, so like I'm going to take this one. This is from the latest release that I did. Again, I'm not going to use any acrylic block or anything like that because that is what I want. I don't want a full coverage on the image. I want it to be very sporadic, and 9 out of 10 they'll stick to your hands. And I'm going to turn it. So I just want it to be very blotchy. I guess that's the word. And I'm just going to stamp right over that. So, oh, almost got it. Is that how? Yes. Because as long as, in my mind, when I do this, it's almost going to go in and out. It's going to look like it's going in and out of the watercolor as well. So that's why I'm looking for that effect. So when you use your fingers, it's it's going to give you that different look. So if you have, you know, stamps or texture stamps or anything like that, you can use something like that. Now I'm just going to set that aside. And I'm going to pull this one in. I'm going to use Sunday's Tangle. Black for this one. We're going, let's go with gray. So again, very organic style stamping. It's not completely there. It's just a little blip. It's soft around the edges in some cases. And again, we're going to add to these. Now, I'll clean these off later, but really when it comes to their archival inks, they're fun. They're fun to clean. And yes, I do have the cleaner for them. What else can we do? I do want to come in with the black on this one, and I'm seeing these orbs. And to get the effect, I am going to pull in some Post-its. And I'm just going to vaguely go along that line. And this I definitely want black. Please tell me I'm still in green. Be very random. Have fun with it. And then you can also do the reverse. Well, we got those, and we can embellish off of them. So you have stamps. Use the stamps. Use your stamp. I did want to use this one too. I did also start designing the new collection. So there will be a fall, winter. And what I can say, because you know me, I never give too much up. Think of there will be a Christmas. All the stamps will be 6 by 8. Let's see this one. I'm just going to keep it on this. And I'm going to be very somewhat precise when I ink it. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to put the lid on that because I'm going to put my hand in it. Oh! Epic fail. But that's okay. We're going to do that. And we're going to do that. I will fix that. I think I need to re-ink that pad. Alright, so see, you can use your stamps as well. And it doesn't, you know, they don't have to be textured. They can be a background. If you have one of those background stamps, the rubber stamps, you can do that. So yeah, whatever you want to do. Now, how am I going to fix this? Very easily. So since it gave, I have a double stamp, we're just going to ink it that way. In some areas. And no one will ever know. So just going over some of the lines lightly. Adding lines. No one will know. And then just doing a little bit over here. And then just adding the same effect. We can have fun with what the eye is seeing and what it's doing. Right? Good morning, Ave. How are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay, I see the capital letters. You did. You came back at the perfect time there. So the normal time. So October, beginning of October is when I launch. I do like to at least have one Christmas in there when it comes to that. It's like a recurring thing that I do. But again, all the stamps are going to be 6x8. And it's going to be flowy. You like that? Just say. So I am going to do the same thing where I keep in mind A2 5x7 when it comes to that. So yeah. Untangle poinsettia, please. I can do that. I had that in my first one. In my first ornament. That really large ornament. Okay. Let's do some mark making on this. Now, since this was stamped in black, I think it's good. There's like a heart there. When you do a watercolor piece like this, before you start stamping or anything like that, look at it. You'll see these different images that come through. So for me, what I want to do is I just want to follow that line and pull that out. And I'm going to pull that out. Just add some lines here. And that one's done. I'm going to let that one dry. Just holding off on that one. I really like this acrylic marker. These are nice. Someone's going to ask me where'd you get them. I have no idea. Probably Amazon. I don't know. And these do very nicely. one tight. Now, for this one that's up here, I'm going down to the 3, and then I'm just going to add a sketchy line that's just going to come down. And just connect it to that. Again, no one's going to know. I have used Posca markers. Yes. You would have to ask somebody else about them. I mean, they're good. I did struggle with them, but again, me. Now, I know Posca is about to, if they haven't already, launched their brush pens. One of the things that I don't like about Posca, and I think that one's done. I do like to add gold to them. But again, you can add as little or as much as you want. This one went to town. This one, we used our stamping and just some minor marks. Is you have to prime them. I do not like any marker that I have to prime. So for this one, I got lots of nice white spaces, and in there I am going to put the lines. To fill that in. Do you have to use a marker to put your lines in? Absolutely not. You can use a pencil. I think pencils are one of the art tools that are forgotten about. It's like a Brad in card making. You can use pencils for anything. It's graphite. It's an art supply. So you don't always have to use a pen or a marker. You can simply use a pencil. And when I watch Denise Love a lot as well. Yeah, she uses a pencil when she does stuff like this. And you can use whatever you want. You could use colored pencils for this whole thing. And just these little tiny marks that we're putting in to these white spaces, it added something. It connected it, if that's what you want to, that's what I want to say. You know, it did. It connected it. I do tend to gravitate to, let's see, I'm going to come in with the blue Sharpie. the same marks. You can draw your teardrops. I just turned that into a triangle, so we're going to make them triangles now. And Sharpies are great because, again, they're inexpensive. And they come in all kinds of pretty colors. And I think even when you're doing these, you should also sign them. Add a squiggle down here, and the line, squiggle. My cat's sleeping again, snoring away. Now I'm going to come in with my gold. But yeah, so Anthony, they're great, but I do feel that there can be other alternatives, but I don't want to shy you away from something that you want to get. I just don't like to have to prime my markers because it has yet to work for me. I cannot get my markers to prime. I always have issues with it. It's very frustrating for me. So I do try to find markers that I do not have to prime. And this is the first time I'm bringing these out. These are called Mem Office. MEMOFFICE. And I think I did get them from Amazon. And so far, yeah, I'm loving them. Brush tip, I can do all kinds of different things. But as long as you don't, again, I know it's operator error. As long as you don't have the issues that I do, I don't sting. But I do know that they are coming out, if they haven't already, with brush tips, which is huge. And then we have that one. Alright, now let's see these two. These two I'm going to hold. I know, what time is it? Oh, it's only 10:38. I require... You know, I don't mind. I mean, I honestly would not mind priming them. The problem is I couldn't get them to prime. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I should have learned because a long time ago, oh, what's her name? I love watching her. Reevely? Dana Reevely with Ranger. she came out with these pens, these fine liner pens. And you had to prime them. And I bought, yep, that's what I did. I got the whole set. But, nope. Over half of them did not prime. And I'm in the world that, okay, yes, I will let them know, okay, this, that, everything else, but I'm not going to, I'm just going to return it. I'm not going to have another set come in. And I learned that to not have another set, because, you know, these are just things that have happened over the over the time frame. I had, oh wow, this is when I first started in card making. I had the whole set of yeah, I found a home for my distress crayons. I am so thrilled about this. I know you aren't, but you all aren't, but I am. Of the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. And half of them would not work. And I've never had an issue with customer service with anything that I've ever purchased or anything like that. They actually sent me, they are wonderful people. Again, never had an issue with any customer service. They literally sent me an entire set to replace it due to all the problems that I was having. Just sent it, no questions asked. Didn't even talk to me on the phone. This is all through email. So amazing. Absolutely amazing. But after that, yeah, after that I'm like, okay. So I stopped with the whole priming of pens, and I did give it a shot with Posca. Nope. I had issues with them, and I'm like, yeah, no, okay. Or after I would get them primed, then they would spit at me. So, yeah, something was just, my materials should not spit at me. They can get upset. They can have their tantrums too. I would rather them not spit at me. And they would just explode. That's just me, and this was a long time ago. I am sure that they have upped their game. That others have had this problem, unless it was just me. I mean, anything's possible. But yeah. So now I'm going to come in with the fine liner. And just accent some of these areas. I like how that goes into that one. Oops, nope, not done with that yet. So just have fun with your marks. Now, if you would rather if you like to tangle and that's what you want to do, you can do that too. I mean, by all means, you can do that. But you can have fun by just adding small marks to your piece. I don't know if I'm going to add any gold to this one. Yeah, I am. Kalinda, good morning. Oh. Okay, so Kalinda said the same thing I do. So, okay, so it just wasn't me. Hey, Shay, how you doing? Y'all sneaking in. And again, I love creating, and I want to be able to create. Taking time to prime a marker, it's annoying. I just... And there's wonderful markers out there. I think Ohuhu's got a great, they've got some great products out there. Um, and they're really going to town with all the items that they have. There's that one. We'll let that one, I'm running out of space. Alright, we're going to put it behind me. Alright. And now let's look at this one. Because I want to go back to the ones that are hopefully dry. And we'll be able to get those into cards. So this one here, I'm just going to let this go the way that it is. And I'm going to take my thick, nope, I'm going to take my Sharpie because it's dark blue. Remember, I work in threes. There must be an air pocket in here. Releasing the air. Oh, maybe not. And I'm almost off camera. Cordelia was in here. She signed in. I'm loving her haul videos. I'm just looking to make sure no fun for marker drama. Right, Anthony? I'm just saying, I want to get to it. I want to, All right, so let's throw that out. Let's put this here. Let's look at our cards, or our card fronts. Some of these may be trimmed down. Some of them may not, because you guys know I love my 5x7s. And we're going to put these away. So there's 84 colors in this. And I really like them. They feel good. Now, again, if you run out of the color, it's not gonna, you know, you can't buy it if it's stock. But I did not have to prime these. And they were brush tip. I have no idea when I got these. But that's what they are. Yeah. Alright, let's make room. But I am very happy, though. I did find a home and a use for my distress crayons, except the white. We'll use the white and something else. Let's zoom back out. Oop, that's in. There we go. Now I know that one's still wet. So this is what we have so far. And you could add, you know, gold lines going through that. That would have been cool. We have that one. I know I'm missing one. Where is it? So we have that one. And remember, just like, so Gwen said that I used it. Wow. Oh. Well, I hope Cordelia, is listening. I don't know if my voice will help her, you know, soothe the pain. But, you know, let's try it. So you said I used bead line. So that must be a name of a tangle. I think Gwen knows every name of every tangle. And again, I wasn't aware that was a tangle. So again, mark making is just that. And we can use these terms interchangeably when it comes to creating the marks on here. Whether you're creating a tangle, whether you're just creating marks, as we're calling it, or whether you're doodling. Just, you can put any of that on top of this. And if you don't want to do that, then you can pull out your stamps, like background stamps, and just have fun throwing them into the mix, if that makes sense. I'm missing one more. There it is. You know, again, simple dots. Just simple dots. You can even just take a fine liner, and again, Sharpies are great for this because of the colors that they come into, or that they come in, and they're permanent. But once this would be completely dry, I mean, you can just trace the outline of these areas of this watercolor, and you're going to make this design turn into something else. To me, this is like a dragon coming out, or Marisu, because there's the opening right there. Just entangled and not coiled up. And you'll see, these, to me, this, I'm not sure where it'll go, but it looks like a wave. There's also a tangle that looks like a ribbon, can't remember the name, that this would be sharp in as well. Or just adding this line going through it with beads going through it. So whatever you want to call those lines and marks that you're making, we're all doing the same thing when it comes to that. So, Ave, if you've lost your mojo, do you have scraps? If you have scraps, do a masterboard. Just take a bunch of scraps and put it on a piece of copy paper. Just keep doing that. Keep stamping on top of it. Splatter. Splatter over it. And then cut it up. I know, who doesn't? I know. Well, you know, some people don't keep their scraps. I know. It's shocking. I know. But some people don't. But when I lose, and it happens. I mean, it can definitely happen. If you're constantly trying to create something or anything like that, yeah, you can lose your drive to continue to create. So one of the things I do is I pull out my watercolors and I just slap it on. I just slap on watercolors, or I'll ink smush. I'll ink smush with my water reactive inks or my outside inks or my distress inks, and I'll just create backgrounds. I'll have all of these backgrounds. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I just do something with them. All right, let's see. Is that dry? Did I just put my finger on that one? And that tends to help. Okay, that's not dry yet. Let's see. Is this one dry? Yes. Is this one dry? Yes. Is that one? Okay, I'm glad we can make cards. I always seem to choose something where it takes forever and a day to dry. And there's just some things, nope, I will not pull out my heat gun. And I'll just do that. It's mindless. I'm not thinking about it. I don't have a purpose of creating it, except I just want to play. I just want to play. Is this one? I know that one had a lot of gold sitting there. Yeah, so this one's dry. That one's my favorite. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm crazy that way. All right, so we were going to make 6 cards. This one's still wet. Maybe by the time we're done with our 6 cards, we'll do that. Now, one of the things that I like to do when it comes to pieces like this... Oh, let me show you the last thing, Ave, that helps me get out my pucks. One of the boxes that I have... Now, you guys know I also love die cutting. My die cutting machines don't like me, especially now. They're cringing as I come close to them again. They're grumbling. But I have a whole pot here. Matter of fact, let me put these in here. Of all my extra die cuts. I always die cut more than what I need. And this box is filled, like even pieces that didn't work. Flowers that I made. I always die cut more. Always. Always, 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 always. And whatever I have left, even you can see borders in here. I put them in here. Greenery. My ink smushed with gold around them. Leaves. These are the tattered leaves. Oh, that's me. See, I'll even put these pieces in here. This is from Sabrina. That's a paper rose. So see, I even remember them. These are from Susan Tierney. That's Pink Fresh. So I'll put all these extra pieces in there, even extra simplicity squares. I'll put those in here, extra embossed panels, and I'll create cards from this. I won't use anything else. I'll just grab card bases and I'll create cards with this. Just put them together. Yeah. That helps me as well. Because again, I'm not creating with a purpose. I'm not creating something for YouTube. I'm not creating something for the memberships. I'm not creating something for an event that's coming up or a show. I'm just having fun. I'm giving myself time and grace to enjoy what we've invested in, if that makes sense. Yeah? So try that, hon. All right, try that. So if you just got those leaves, do some ink smushing and use purple, a deep red, a deep green, and a golden yellow. Ink smush those in four corners, add water to it, and just have fun creating all those panels and then die cut away. Well, you see, the color results are magnificent. Yes. All right, so I'm going to grab my paper distresser. When it's pieces like this, when it's abstract, because that's what this is all abstract, I like to distress the edges. That's why I did not worry about the paper tearing on the side here, but I just like to run down. Now you can also use your scissors for this. I do not because I will hurt myself, and I have. And I just like to rough them up. Not crazy in this case. I know you guys have seen me go to town with this tool. But I just want that deckled edge look. But again, you can use your scissors. Just be careful, please. Just to get that little bit of ruffled. Just a little bit. And I'm going to do that to each of them. Now, when it comes to this was the hot press. This is the cold press. You got to put a little bit of a force in there. Because the hot press was not 140 pounds. I think it was 90. And this cold press is 140 pounds. I really do like this cold press. It's right up there with my Canson XL. But I just like this look. And because of the amount of space that each of these are taking up, I am not going to cut these down. So these all are going to be 5x7. You get nice fuzzies. Nice fuzzies. There we go. You can keep them straight if you want. If you have enough of a border, you could just tear it. Use a ruler, tear it up. But I do like to, and again, I'm just going along the top of the edge. Or you could tear just one side. It's a workout. At least I think it is. But I do like the effect. I think I do need to get another one of these though, because I think the blades are getting dull. And then this, yeah, this is the hot. I can tell the hot press because that paper tore. Very light. Very lightweight. But I am using of what I have. So again, you don't have to do this. I like to do it because again, it's watercolors and it's abstract art, and for some reason I just see, when I think of watercolors, I don't know, I see the deckled edges. I don't know. That's just me. Sorry for the awful noise. Get into another blade here. Woo! All right, let's get our fuzzies out of the way. That's a lot of fuzzies. I'm going to grab these. I'm just going to... Nothing's hurt. Now, the other thing that I also do with these is I back them on black cardstock. So these should measure, 4 by 6. They're all 4 by 6. But I just want I'm going to go up 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to go 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I just use a lightweight cardstock. And then let's speed up this process. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I am going to cut just one more, just in case that other one does dry. And I'll keep that one not, what do you call it? Frizzied. Let's just go with frizzied. That's the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, you should be able to do that. And then they just sit in there. All right. The black, in my opinion, makes them pop. And I only put glue down the center. Because I like the look of it curled up. Again, it's a piece of art. Let's frame it like a piece of art. Now, if you don't want to use your glue, you can also use tape. And I'll use my score tape for that, because it is quicker too. So I'll put 2 strips. Again, just down the middle. I don't go to the edges. Just down the middle. And then this way I can also use my liquid glue as well. This does not add, just because I'm not making sure that the sides are flat. This does not add bulk to mailing because it'll flatten it out. It just, this one I'll come out to the edge because it's flat. Get my burnishing tool. Put my big mug on the table, so I don't know if that's in, it's just barely in frame. Ow. It's just my paper creaser. So, Ave, I hope those ideas help you. Now, I didn't add glue because I have all that tape going on that one. These, I will. And because we went up 1/4 of an inch, I'm just eyeballing, we're going to have 1/8 of an inch around each of these pieces. These are not cards that I'll add a sentiment to, definitely. I will just let them be the way they are. These will be put in the pot though, because the majority of the cards, for the most part, that I make, just go into a container and I use them for my thank you cards. I donate them. Sometimes I'll sell them, but other than that. But remember, anything can Mark make. You can even do what Biddy was doing yesterday. She was using a brush to make her marks. Yes, I was there. I was being sneaky. I was actually filming in the background. It was the second video that I had to film. Alright, so now we have that. Let's get our card bases. I think I'm going to make card bases. And for my card bases, I use Recollections. The 110 pounds. They must never get rid of this cardstock. Never. And I'm a little nervous for the Michaels near me. I just have some concern. But they did take over. My sister was there yesterday. I couldn't make it. They have a huge section now of bolt fabric. Not just fat quarters, bolts. Because they did say that they were going to pick up on the fabric. So, that they did add. Alright, now we're just going to score this down. So now we're just seeing production style here. I need to get more 5x7 card bases. See, I like having my card bases ready-made. So, and now we fold. Oops. I will be, what's next week? Yes, I will be live next Sunday. And that is our Tangling Sunday. And we are going to incorporate our stash with our tangling. Yes, we are. Alright, and then for this one, I just glue. Now, I'll look at it. So you want to look at your piece, turn it, and say, okay, which way does this look best? Does it look better in a landscape? Does it look better as a portrait? Now, if you're not sure, and a lot of times I get like that, I'm going to make sure the way that I put it on will work for both. So this works good like this or like this. It also looks good like this or like that too. But that's just how my brain works for these. And yeah, when I can use this Tombow Mono and get rid of it, I'm doing it. And then I just center them right on to the card base. And again, don't overthink it. Just get your card made. Have fun with it. Use your chop, because you do want to make sure that you sign your pieces. Again, it's a form of abstract art. So you should sign it. And it doesn't have to be your full name. Always make sure that your card bases are facing the right way. Yeah. You shouldn't check it after you get the card in front of you. We've got 2 more. This is a definite thing like that. And I know this one's going to go like this. We got 7 cards. And I'm just going to take the Sharpie. Nope. I'm not going to take the Sharpie, because I will mess up with the Sharpie. Where's my fine liners? Oh my goodness. And I do. I now make sure that I sign them. And sometimes I get asked, what's that? I feel like that's my initial. You can just put your initials, whatever it is you want to do. And you can put it anywhere you want. You can put it up in here if you want. But you should. You should at least put your initials when you're doing this form. And if you want to add the year, you can. Alrighty. Those are our cards. I mean, that's not bad to make in 2.5, just under 2.5 hours. We got 7 abstract cards. And we created 10 backgrounds. So here This is the background that's left. This is the background that's left. And this is a background that's left. So I'm going to go back and look at CR because I have until Thursday. Hee hee. And see if I can put that together. So that is what we have gotten done. Yeah, that one's my favorite. I like the little tiny Marisus coming out and sprouting out. I mean, I love them all. I absolutely love them all. I like the look that this one gave, the edginess. This one's cool with the swipes and the swirls. But again, you can use your stamps to add marks. If you don't want to add the marks, you can certainly do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can use anything. You don't have to have all of these colors. You can just use a graphite pencil. Just use a pencil. You can do that for all your marks. You don't have to have different things to do that. You can keep it simple. And I think this is a great way if somebody's interested in starting out in card making, that yes, you can, you just need your paper, whether mixed media or watercolor. You just need your paper, just need your card bases. If you want to mat, just that solid color cardstock that you'll need. And you can use Crayola watercolors and the number 2 pencil. And I think it's something that could get somebody's toes wet to see. Because again, it's an investment. And I say that, it's an investment when it comes to what we do. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope gave you some tips and tricks and all of that fun stuff. Like I said in the beginning, for the membership, we are going to be map tangling. So that's where we take backgrounds of watercolor and we are going to tangle on top of these. So we'll start out how to create this type of background, and it's pretty much what I did here. When it comes to these backgrounds, I just added splatters. And then we are going to map tangle on them. So we are going to be doing that in July in the community. And that's going to sit in the first tier. We are almost done the lap book in the second tier. So we have the next video that's about to come out is we are going to complete the structure of the lap book. And what I mean by that is we have all of these components in each of the sections done now. So we have a notepad, we have flips, pockets, everything else. We have our accordion that we built, and then we have our file folder over here that we did. So and then a piece of lace here. So all of those components now are in, and we're going to start now. The next video is going to be where we're going to start building, decorating, having fun. First time I've ever made a lap book, and it was a very interesting process. I liked it because it made you think. Not that we don't always think when it comes to that, but it makes you slow down. All right, so that's what's upcoming. I will be here next Sunday. And yes, that will be our first one. So we will be tangling. So I will be live. And then there's going to be a video coming out this week as well. So guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you a different way to look at abstract art, abstract components. Use what we have. We can utilize our stamps and all of that fun stuff. Very basic supplies. So that'll help you make some backgrounds and just have fun with it. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. I am grateful and honored to be part of your creative journey. Thank you very much. And I hope you all continue, and I know you all will continue to stay safe and healthy. Enjoy the summer. We are going into those months now. And my love to all of you and happy thoughts. I'll see you next Sunday. Till then, take care, guys.